Before I begin, I want you to slow down for a moment. Let your mind settle and step with me into the world of a man who carried more than he ever revealed. This isn't a story of battles or glory, but of a quiet, tired soul who kept walking even when the world gave him every reason to stop. This is Nanami Kento.
Nanami Kento was never meant to be a hero. He was simply a man born into a world that kept demanding more from him than he ever wanted to give. And yet, he kept giving anyway. His life is a quiet tragedy, not the kind marked by explosive battles or dramatic deaths, but the slow, suffocating kind. The tragedy of a man who understood the world too well. Nanami grew up realizing something most sorcerers never do, that strength doesn't save people. Responsibility does. Consistency does. Showing up even when it doesn't want to, even when it hurts, that's what saves people. He wasn't blessed like Gojo, nor wild like Yuji, nor touched by destiny like Yuta. Nanami was ordinary, and that's what made him extraordinary. He built his life on discipline because anything less would collapse him. He left Jujutsu sorcery once, looking for a world less cruel, less demanding. Instead, he found something worse. People crushed under invisible burdens, suffering in silence, forgotten by everyone around them. Nanami realized that curses weren't monsters with teeth. They were the emotions people swallowed for years, emotions no adult bothered to notice, and that realization dragged him back into the fight. Nanami didn't return because he wanted to be a sorcerer. He returned because he couldn't stand the idea of doing nothing. Because once you've seen suffering clearly, you no longer have the privilege of looking away. His personality was shaped by this heavy clarity. He saw the world without illusions. He understood that life was work, that heroism was often just responsibility in a different costume, and that the strongest people are usually the most tired. Nanami cared deeply, but quietly, painfully, in a way that leaves scars on the spirit. He hid his kindness under structure, because people who feel too much often need rules to survive. Yuji reminded him of innocence. Megumi reminded him of solitude. Nubara reminded him of pride. And through them, Nanami understood something profound. He was no longer fighting for himself. He was fighting so they wouldn't become like him. Burnt out, disappointed, and carrying more weight than a single human should have. He knew exactly what kind of world they were inheriting, a world that devours the kind, overloads the responsible, and rewards the reckless. Nanami refused to let that cycle continue. What he left behind isn't a technique. It isn't a legend. It isn't even a legacy in the heroic sense. What he left behind is a standard. A reminder that adulthood is not about strength, it's about endurance. It's about doing what needs to be done, even when it earns no gratitude, even when it destroys you a little every day. Nanami left behind the idea that responsibility is a form of love, a quiet love, the kind that doesn't ask to be seen. The kind that holds the world together while stronger people look the other way. And perhaps the darkest truth he teaches us is this: sometimes the most heroic thing a person can do is keep going when they have every reason to stop. To wake up one more day, to fight one more fight, to carry one more weight, so someone younger can walk a little lighter. Nanami Kento's life was a long, slow sacrifice, and he never called it that. He simply called it work.